So today we have a bunch of small news stories that I'm going to get into before we get into the bigger kind of meteor things of House of Dragons and The Bear and some thoughts I have on those shows. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video and watch it towards the end, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff helps a lot, and let's get into it. If you're a fan of Crazy Taxi, which I am, it is getting a reboot, and recently they described the game as a open world, massive multiplayer game, which is kind of cool. You're not only going to be the only person like in the game that's delivering people with their taxi and driving people around and kind of like almost running over like pedestrians because you're a shitty driver like I am and like everybody is in that game, but there's going to be people alongside with you, and there's going to be different modes that you can play in the game. To me, this sounds like a lot of fun. I hope that they don't go to the way 2K Games does things and kind of microtransactions the fuck out of this game, because I have a feeling that that's what a lot of people would want to do. But I hope that they don't and keep it to a minimum. But I'm really excited for Crazy Taxi, and I've been waiting for a Crazy Taxi game for the longest time, and it's finally almost here. Acolyte is probably one of the most disappointing Star Wars shows that I've seen in a long time. It has so much potential, but I kind of dislike it for other reasons, unlike what Star Wars fanboys don't like it for the midi-chlorian birth, for the homosexuality in some characters, and for the girl power in the show. It really isn't what bothers me about the show. What bothers me about the show is that I really don't give a fuck about any of these characters. Like, why should I care about these characters when the writing is probably some of the worst writing I've ever seen ever, and some of the dumbest characters in Star Wars history? Like, they make stormtroopers look good. So like, the writing is what's been wrong with Star Wars for the longest time. It's not that it's woke, it's just that it's completely shitty writing. If you've been playing Final Fantasy XIV Downtrail, the new update that they've done, yeah, you've probably been experiencing some bugs specifically on the early access version of Xbox, and unfortunately that is going to take some time to fix. The director of the game, Yoshida, has come out and said that they have their sincerest apologies for this happening, but unfortunately this is going to take some time to fix, approximately 7 days and maybe even more. So if you're having some issues with the game, the suggestion is to play in lower populated areas of the game, and or just don't play it at all, because those issues are going to be plaguing the game for another 7-ish days. So Nintendo's recent showcase, Nintendo announced a lot of games. One of the games that people were excited for was Donkey Kong HD. The only problem is they did a very Rockstar thing to do, and they overcharged on this game, and it's going to be $60, and fans are rightfully upset for that price tag for no reason whatsoever. I'm really tired of companies making HD remasters that are not even remakes, which a remake would like count for you to pay $60 for that game, or at the very least $59.99 for that game. But $60 is so egregious for a game that's exactly the same and didn't really change and only has HD textures. This is one of the most Nintendo things that I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm tired of companies doing this. You can all say that scalpers are kind of annoying, and Nintendo understands that scalpers are extremely annoying, and their way to battle scalpers is to have plenty of Nintendo Switch 2s, or whatever that console is going to be called. And they say that the shortage for components is kind of over for them and has been resolved, and they plan to just flood the market with as many Nintendo Switches as they can, Nintendo Switch 2s consoles on the market, or whatever it's called again. But I kind of think that this isn't really going to be an issue with Nintendo, on top of the fact that they fixed the component issue, because I don't think any of the hardware in there is going to be extremely advanced. I think this is going to be at least PlayStation 4 strength components in there, and is going to not really require them to buy extremely special parts like the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. For the last couple of months, there has been a rumor of an Elden Ring movie being in the works, and George R. R. Martin was recently directly asked, hey, is there an Elden Ring movie that's being talked about? Like, is it going to be in production? Are they actually going to make this movie? And George R. R. Martin responded in the most George R. R. Martin way. He's like, I know nothing. I never heard a peep. For me, no. Never heard anything. So George R. R. Martin loves to tell us when something is production that he's worked on, which kind of makes me sad that he's more than likely going to be asked to help rewrite the scripts that are going to be used for Elden Ring. It's awesome that Elden Ring is getting a game, but this means that George R. R. Martin is going to be even more distracted than he already is to not finish Winds of Winter, which in reality he never is going to finish them. Scientists are proving that the line, like, have you not watched the movie Terminator and heard of Skynet? Because of the fact that they keep doing dumb shit that movie characters do. So scientists, of course, are attempting to create a robot that can have skin on top of its body. Like, if we need to have Terminators running around here and looking like humans that are indistinguishable from us. But yeah, let's do the worst thing possible. And you know what? Like, as a burn person, can you pass some of that skin over here, my guy? Can you, like, spare some skin? Thank you. So it's no secret that House of Dragons is probably some of the best TV on television right now, and it's not a surprise because it's HBO. But one of the things that I love that HBO is doing in this show, and especially in the recent episode, by the way, spoiler alert, we're gonna get into spoilers. So if you don't want to get into that, you might want to get out of here. On how prophecy can be misunderstood or used in order for an empire to wage war or take over the way they want to. We see this theme in a lot of movies. We see it in Dune. We see it in Star Wars, how prophecies can often be misunderstood, and not only misunderstood, but used for war and used for an empire to do its bidding. And I love that House of Dragon kind of illustrates that, and it even makes the characters acknowledge, like Alicent, the fucking dumb bitch, that I kind of messed up for not telling people exactly what somebody said, even though it was a misunderstood prophecy. Upcoming spoilers for The Bear, so if you haven't caught up with season 1, 2, and 3, I'm about to spoil all of that shit. So almost everybody in the show has had like kind of a redemption and growth story. Cousin got his redemption and kind of grew up. Everybody else, like Sydney, proved that she could run like a big time kitchen without it being too much for her. And almost everybody else has gotten some kind of redemption. Even Sugar had a kind of understanding with her mom that she kind of fucked her up in trauma and kind of messed her up in the person that she is today, and they kind of reconciled their differences. And the only person that hasn't gotten his redemption is Carmi. And the reason being is because he's the bear. He is the one at the very beginning of the show that has trauma, that is caged by his trauma. His dreams that he wants to achieve is tainted by trauma. The love life that he wants is tainted by trauma. And everything else in his life has been ruined because of the trauma that he has. But he doesn't even realize that that's what that is. And instead of acknowledging it, he kind of makes things around him even worse. He makes his love life worse. He makes the kitchen a living hell. And because he doesn't acknowledge it, he makes everything in his life a cage where he has to live in with his trauma. And I don't think that we're going to see Carmi get his redemption anytime soon, at least until towards the end of next season, which, by the way, should be coming out a lot faster because they recorded season 3 and 4 back to back. So I wouldn't be surprised if season 4 comes out earlier. Thank you for watching. Give me your thoughts on some of the news stories and some of the opinions I had on The Bear and House of Dragons. If you guys enjoyed, of course, like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, remember, you're pretty good.